So today's challenge comes from our friend Chris, or you may know him as Mort from Mort's Garage. He's a very accomplished YouTube creator, and he set me the challenge of lighting a documentary-style interview scene, but only using lighting purchased from Home Depot and only with a budget of $100. So this is how we got on.
Robin, I have a challenge for you.
Yes.
Come back to me and I'll say, I have $100 and we're here at Home Depot.
Yes.
Home Depot. And then you'll say, exactly.
Yes.
Can I give you $100? And then what do I say again?
We need a room to light.
I want you to light a documentary setting, interview style video. Can I give you $100 to get me a lighting setup that I can use to light a room for a shoot using only Home Depot? Can you do it?
What is the room?
Greta says, you mean like this?
How about this?
What would the transition be from you?
Well,
Wait, are you asking me to tell you about the room?
yeah, no, no. You're gonna ask me what the challenge is in this room.
I like this room. So what am I gonna ask you?
What the challenges of the room are?
How about this room?
All right, now that we have our location, Robin, what are the challenges of a room like this?
It's really just about finding some versatile lights that we can use to give us a bit of everything.
At $100?
We're gonna try.
At Home Depot?
I accept that challenge.
All right, let's go inside.
Cool. I've had this situation happen to me a couple of times last year where I flew in, my bags didn't arrive, and I actually had to go to Walmart and buy a lighting setup to film an interview.
And part of, I think, being nimble with production is knowing that you plan for everything, but have the flexibility to know that things may not go the way you think. And so you got to think of these creative solutions, like going to a big box store or things like that. Okay, but we're in a Home Depot. So, like a Best Buy is going to have a lighting section. What would you be looking, or Walmart might even?
So I think that there are kind of lights for building sites, which like a LED battery powered normally. So that's what I'm looking for. We're looking for lighting.
You know, like the work lights, like the
That are on
two
stands.
ones are on stands.
This one actually, what it does is it folds out onto a tripod, comes with a sling carrying case, and has a little cable. You can plug it in your car and charge it up and use it as a portable work/camping light. And it towers up about that high.
$50.
It's that triple light there.
It's a triple light. It's LED. This even has adjustable white balance. So the good thing about this is it's telling us that we can set the white balance at something that we know. So we're not going to guess. I think I found my key light. So right now, if this is my key, which is going to be the light that lights the interview subject, and it's $50, gives me $50 to play with. I'm also going to want probably a hard backlight so I can create some kind of nice dynamics in the background.
It super surprised me to be here and to look around and go, wow, there's a lot of really good options that if I showed up to this on a shoot with a client, I think if they just saw that I had lights with me, they wouldn't check what kind of lights. They would just want to make sure that the shot looked good.
This one's $2,500 and it's $24.
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
The one trouble with this is I haven't been able to try any of the lights. So I don't know what they look like. I don't know how this is going to be. So I'm hoping that these are just going on what it says on the boxes. So that's going to be a challenge when it comes to actually putting them in the room. This is looking really good to me. I mean, I have this sort of thing in my mobile lighting kit, but just made by people that make lighting for film.
Right,
So
not lighting for construction sites.
For garages or construction sites. So
Sorry, what'd you call it?
garages.
So one of these lights is doing one thing, one of these lights is doing another thing. We need this other light to fulfill a specific task.
I think that thing might be a more omnidirectional light, just to
What do you mean by omnidirectional?
so just something. These are all directional, so they're going to go one way. Omnidirectional is like a traditional light bulb
Okay. Oh,
that will just fill the room. This could be really nice for adding some ambient light, which we can spread over quite a big distance. So that's I'm kind of interested in the challenge of getting that and seeing what we can do with it. Okay, I'm going to take a risk, and I'm going to go for those three.
All right, so these are the 3 lights that we're definitely going with. I'm curious how these random lights at Home Depot would work because I'm thinking of that scenario that Robin mentioned where a client flies you out to a project, you show up, your bags don't, and you've got to figure out, what do I do to make this work? So this makes you feel pretty excited that I could actually find some good solutions in that emergency situation. I don't know, this would be my first place to go to get lights.
Well, I'm feeling pretty good about what we got, and it's an interesting exercise. Even for me, even though I have a ton of great lights at home, I find that I often mix my great lights. You know, like I have a lot of Aperture make fantastic lights, but I often mix things that I bought at Home Depot. Like these rope lights, I'm really interested, and that's why I kind of switched my mind at the last minute, because those rope lights are so versatile. Are you right? Do you need a hand with that? Are you okay?
I'm very weak, but I'm doing okay.
Yeah, you're doing well. I'm proud of you, Chris.
Thank you. Oh, shit. I didn't record any of that. So, Robin, we're in this room, and there's lights behind you and stuff, but if you're walking into a corporate shoot, how do you start when you're lighting something from scratch? Do you try and turn the lights on in the room? Do you go all dark? What's your process?
So I would set the camera up and just to look at the room with the lights on that I kind of naturally light in the room. Just have a look, because there may be some really nice features that those lights bring in and that we can use.
So walk me through this. What are you seeing right now? If you were walking into this room having never seen it before, what are you working with?
Okay, so we have the camera running here so we can see. It's really, really dark. So I'm at 400 ISO here. And I don't really want to go above that because I don't want it to get grainy. I'm shooting on a Blackmagic. This is the 6K Blackmagic. But what I try and do is I much prefer to shoot at 100 or 200 just to keep the image super, super clean. I've got a 1.8 lens here, which is 18 to 34. It's a pretty versatile lens.
If this were the actual room that you were shooting in, and you got off the plane and you walked into this, how would your brain be processing the available space?
First, how much light is already there and what other lights are possible to use. So we have 2 practical lights here, which are very dull, and they're kind of a weird white balance. They're pinkish. So that's really not going to match with the other lights that I've got unless it gives kind of a nice feel. So it might work, but it might throw off the white balance and might mess with the color of people's skin and that kind of thing. So back here, we have a couple of these practical lights, which, again, they're a little brighter, but they're lighting up these cabinets. So I will probably leave those on because 2 reasons. They're adding light here, and they're also quite, if you see the fall off, they're quite controlled. So they're lighting this, and it's not blasting and flattening your image, because there's a nice fall off, and they're highlighting stuff in the cabinet, which is going to be good. So these I'll definitely leave on.
Okay, no, I want to challenge you.
Okay.
Let's try turning those lights off, because I want to see what you can do with just the lights that we spent $100 and something on at Home Depot.
Okay. That is something I would never normally do, because I always look to the practical lighting to set the mood of
Okay, all right, I'll compromise with you, because I can see you're getting a little stressed out. Let's do this. Start with the 3 lights that we started with, because if someone's watching this video, they might want to follow in your lead here. And then, looking at the practicals in the room, we can add to it. Is that something we can try?
Okay. Cool. We'll start dark, and with just the 3 lights.
Let's do it.
And I'll see what I can do with that. And that will make me use the lights differently than I intended.
Okay.
But we shall see.
Robin, I believe in you.
Okay. Let's do this. Let's turn some lights off and some lights on. So the cool thing about this is that it comes with a stand. Whoa.
Ooh, nice.
That's cool. Okay. So
So the little tripod.
oh,
That is bright.
that is bright. It's
There we go.
Oh, nice.
It just says low, medium, high. Oh, that's the color. Now
Yeah,
you're
it's
on
like the color
Now you're on a
change.
different color.
okay. So
Now it's
Oh.
now it's Yeah. That's color.
Okay, so these are the different different white balances.
Yep.
It's not that bad, actually. I'm going to bring the...
That actually looks really cool.
That's not terrible, right? I mean, if that's the only light that you had to do this...
You could make that work.
But though we did say we're going to turn all the lights off. So at this point...
Turn off the lights.
Yes, so turn all the lights off. So we're just going to now have the one.
There's some over there too. Rob.
Okay, yeah. So this is the one that I was thinking would be the key. Reason being is that there's quite a lot of spread on it. You can actually, move it around so we can spread it out a bit more, but also we can bring it in as well if we don't want it to light too much of the rest of the room. So it's kind of just on the subject. It is throwing a bit of light everywhere else, but it's pretty soft, it's pretty diffused, and that's what you want on someone's face. You don't want harsh, hard light. And it's on this softer, this more yellowy light.
Yeah.
It works pretty good.
So light number 1 is done. Now we're going to go to light number 2, correct?
Correct. And this is I'm going to try the tube light, because this might actually work as a key light, because it's going to be very soft. Okay, so...
Oh, it's supposed to have a remote. Did we not get the remote?
remote.
Oh, okay. There we go.
So I'm going to turn this light off.
Ooh. It feels much less harsh on my
It's
face.
very soft. It's a lot less bright. This, it looks a lot greener, but that's fine. We'll just change the white balance. So it was saying...
It says that it's 4,000, but I don't believe it.
So it's saying the white balance is 2,500 and makes it... and yeah, so it's a very...
That looks good.
Yeah, so it's a very weird temperature of light. That's you can see that the auto white balance made it 2,500 K and the tint is 37. So it's very, very strange.
Would you say that that's the challenge of working with these sort of lights, is they might not be accurate because they don't necessarily have to be. It's more about a visual work light preference. So they might not be as accurate for film, so it's going to be a little bit of trial and error.
Yeah, so it is what it is. So you have to work around it. So putting this up like this has made me realize this is going to have a certain purpose, and it certainly isn't keying. Even though it's a soft light, it's gonna do other stuff.
Let's put it where it goes.
So what I'm going to try and do, I'm going to plug this in back here. So right now I'm just going to plop it up here.
Oh, nice.
And literally see how much light that's bringing in
With the 2 lights. Okay.
So Greta's looking pretty good. And so you can see that it's bringing some light in the background there.
Is it?
That looks cool behind it like that. However, I want these side bits here to need more light.
How frustrated on a scale of 1 to 10 are you that you can't use the other lights yet? That's a good answer. Let's keep going.
I think this is going to be the coolest light by far,
Why do you think that?
because it's small. It's got more lumens than the big lights, but you can also have the 3 settings. It's got the same settings as this big light on the tripod, so means we can, in theory, match the colors. We can, in theory, match the low, medium, high if we want to match, or we could be brighter on this one or brighter. So, and I just think it's going to be a very versatile, really helpful light. So let's check it out.
Let's check.
Ooh, look, it's got magnets. So if we had a metal wall, you could magnet it.
Whoa, that's actually really cool.
It's really cool. And then
I feel like I want to go buy a couple of those just anyways.
it's got hooks on it. I love a cool light. And then obviously this one and that one are both wireless, and you can just USB charge them, which is cool. Ooh. Vroom, vroom, vroom.
Quick, what's your favorite Star Wars movie?
Ewok Battle of Endor.
Wrong answer. Whoa, I just blinded myself.
The correct answer is Captain EO. Let's move on.
Okay. So this light, it's cool.
I know it.
It is cool. Oh look, you can twist it. You can put it. You can just.
Yeah.
Twist it.
Bop it. Bop
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this kind of like.
I think that's going to be our
It-
highlight. It's going to be the highlight light.
This light is very bright. So what we would do is we would probably bring it as some sort of backlight on Greta like this. So it's not falling on this, but it's falling
oh, yeah.
on the back of Greta just to kind of...
It actually looks really great. And what I'm impressed by is that you've just done this really quickly with $100 at Home Depot.
What you can see that's doing here is it's bringing light in here and giving a bit of shape to this. It's very blue. That's the main thing I'm seeing with these lights is getting the delicate white balance that you would get with a higher quality light where you can dial that in.
Normal lighting setup, you would get lights that are all 4,000 and lock them in at 4,000 and then white balance to that.
Well, I would actually the lights that I use, you can put at any. They're really finely tuned for their white balance. So I would be going through in a situation like this where there may be discrepancies. If there were ambient lights on, or if there is daylight coming through, then I would actually kind of like manually look and figure out, those delicately balance those white balances so they work better. Those are the limitations of these lights. That being said, I'm going to try and figure out how to get the best looking, well balanced so it doesn't look weird.
Okay.
Let's
do it.
Cool.
Let's do like a. You can do like a speed up.
Okay, so I didn't spend long on this, right? It was maybe we just kind of threw them up because the limitations of the lights kind of dictate what you can do. So basically, I needed a key, and so we can look over here, and there's the one key. I needed it a little bit higher, so we used the boxes that it came in, and then so that cool little light, which is very bright and but it's great because I just ended up putting it up on top of the mirror, just balanced there. But what that's doing is that's coming down, and you can see it on the shot here. It's just adding some texture to the couch here, and also hitting the back of Greta's head. So and it's also lighting the foreground as well. The table. I'm not sure if the table's in shot right now. So it's just giving a little bit of ambient light, and that's coming from behind. And then on this light here, because these are the practical lights which Chris did not allow me to use. This is why the rope light was great, and I wanted to get the rope light, is because
It's very versatile.
I was able to add some lighting into the cabinets here, so it brings out. And yeah, it's kind of a little bit messy. If I were to put, say, a 50mm lens with more shallow focus, which we could try, I could switch that up, this would become more of a light feature and you wouldn't see the rope so much.
Could you have also put it like behind the record player so it looks like it's part of the scene?
Yes, but if I put it behind the record player, then I wanted this to be lit.
see.
So I needed
Something on the front of
yeah.
that. I
So
see.
this is creating this light here.
Yeah.
And what we'll do now is we'll put a 50mm on the camera. Let's do it. And so we'll see how that looks with a nicer lens. So I think if this was a documentary film and you went and spent $100 on lights from Home Depot, I think it actually looks pretty damn good.
I do too. I'm honestly, it's impressive. It's great how the light is hitting Greta. You can see There's dimension and depth in the image in terms of how the lights are working. There's a lot here that it's shocking and surprising that we walked into Home Depot with $100 when people will drop hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars on gear and get an image that's probably a little better, but I mean, not much. I mean, given what you can do if you're in that emergency crisis situation. I wouldn't do this as the default, but if you're an indie filmmaker on a budget, or you're just trying to get some stuff going, maybe you don't have a larger income at the moment and you just need to try some ideas, getting that $20, $50 light at Home Depot or wherever could be the thing that helps you start experimenting with and playing with lights and getting good shots. Let's do this. As a last part of this video, before we rank them, Robin,
Yeah.
let's turn on some of those practical lights and get one last shot.
Okay. I wanted to also do an iPhone shot with. How do you change the?
In the top corner.
How do you make it cinematic now?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Turn it back.
Oh, on the side button, right?
Oh, it's annoying. Okay, so I want to film. So this is the iPhone using this lighting setup.
Oh, it's actually beautiful.
With on cinematic mode.
Holy smokes.
It's not bad, right?
No, it looks great.
Yeah. So those two on the back. Okay. Okay. Yes. So now that I've been allowed to use the practical lights, which there should be in wherever you're filming, those now do the job of filling in that. So this now does the job purely of this, and you don't see the ugliness of those lights, which I had to bring up here to fill the light in. If I had more time, if I had more stands, that kind of thing, I could have probably rigged something and made it work with extension cable. So we have one other practical light here. I'm not sure what it's going to do. I think it might be in the wrong place, but if that comes on, maybe this is something where we would actually
Put it in the shot?
bring it in on the record pad, or maybe on the light on the mirror up there. Or the other thing we could do is kind of have it as some.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So I'm just kind of like, and I can see what's going on in the cabin if you look. If that's doing anything good. Well, you can see that when I bring this in, it kind of plays the part that it's the thing that's lighting this whole back bit.
Greta, this is your first time seeing the shot, right?
Correct.
You've been sitting for an hour.
I've been a perfect model.
Yes.
I think this looks great. I think if you were the subject in this, you wouldn't question the lighting setup, and I don't think someone would question that you were showing up with Home Depot lights. I think they would think they were professional lighting gear.
I honestly, I think so too. And I think this is one of those things where someone can look at technical things and go, oh, I really noticed that, if they really are keyed in on it. But to the average person, even to me, someone who, I don't see myself as an amateur, I look at this and I think, this looks really good. Like, I could use this, especially in, again, that emergency use situation. What do you guys think about ranking the three lights right now?
Good. Should we sit?
Yeah, let's sit down on the couch.
Guys,
Wow,
gals,
that was loud.
friends, humans, let's rank our three lights. Let's start with the key light over here. Let's rank it on a scale of 0 to 10 and one sentence as to why.
And I'll just say the name of each light.
Yeah.
That is the Husky LED work light with tripod, 2200 lumens.
I am really impressed with this light as a key light. Mm-hmm. $50, right? Mm-hmm. 3 different light temperatures and 3 different brightnesses. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Low, medium, high, and 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 K.
Oh, yeah, 3,000, 4,000, and 5,000 K is what is advertised.
Fantastic.
Not entirely sure how accurate those are, but
That could be another video.
yes. But as you can see, so this is obviously Chris is a little dark now because we were just lighting for one subject. That's another drawback of cheap lights. But if you had 2 of those, $100. and then you could do a 2-point. You could have one as a fill on the low and one as a the key on a high. I would say.
Are we ranking out of 10 or out of 5?
Let's rank it. I'm in an emergency. How likely am I to get this light?
This would be my. If I had to do this shoot with one light, that would be the one.
Okay.
So I
Should we start in reverse order then? Because that's very anticlimactic.
No.
How would you rank it, Greta?
I would rank it pretty high. I mean, I feel like I want to put it on a scale. I would say like 9 out of 10. If it's
That's high.
yeah, I mean
Hold on. I'm sorry, I have to clarify that.
of amateur lights.
Okay, of amateur lights.
Of amateur, non-professional lights, I would say this is like really high.
I'd feel
for
like-
versatility and yeah, it definitely would be in the toolkit. If we had all amateur lights, it would be in the toolkit.
I feel like I'm a 9 out of 10 on amateur level.
I'm sitting with 2 10s, just letting you all know. All right. I don't know much about the differences in the different size. I know if we had an Amarin or something, we would be, in great shape. You could just do a single, that could do everything for you. But for me, if I, I'm flying out of state to do some filming here pretty soon, and if my lights got lost and I was stuck, this exercise has taught me that I would walk into Home Depot and then call you. But then the second thing I'd do if you didn't pick up is I would buy this light immediately.
I think the other to add to that, you not only did it shrink down and it's got its own tripod, but it's very light. It's very light, and it's very, so if you are flying with it or have to fit it in a suitcase, it's very light. You could do that. It's a plug-in charge with a USB port. You could plug it into a phone battery,
But I would
portable
add,
battery.
This is out of the box, and we didn't charge it. And
We
it's not
didn't charge
plugged in.
it.
That's right.
And so it's still going.
It's still emergency usable because
You show up to a set, there's a good chance your lights can already be charged if
Yeah.
it's brand new. That's great. That's a good point.
the one
but
thing I
get
would,
a battery just in case.
but the one thing I would say about flying with it is it would fit maybe in your carry-on, but it's got a lithium-ion battery, I presume, in it, so you wouldn't
You
be
can't
able to check it.
You might have
check
to
it.
leave it behind. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the next light, shall we?
The next light.
Let's talk about the ropey light.
the rope light. So
That is the EcoSmart 16.4 foot white 360 outdoor rope light.
And Home Depot, ours didn't come with the remote. So even though we went over $100 a little bit, we didn't get this, so we're going to count it. Take that.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what did you think? Greta, why don't you start this one off, because I'm starting the last one.
It looks really good in person, but as you guys found out, and as I could see when I saw the playback, it is weirdly green on camera. So I think it would be cool in like a moody situation. So if you're doing something, you're like got a 7, like, you're gonna maybe have a green scene anyway, or it's like a music video. I think it could be more useful. I think for the interview stuff, I would throw it in the trash.
You throw it in the trash.
I mean, not in the trash because that's wasteful. But if we had to not get one of them, I think that one's the loser for this challenge. But I think in other situations, it could be really cool.
Greta, this one is my favorite one.
Are you just trying to have a conflict for this video?
friction makes great storytelling? Okay, so the reason I like this one
I'll do
is
the music. Dun, 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 dun.
the reason I liked this light is because I like that the rope element of it, that I could move it in different places. I also didn't even think of coiling it in one spot when you're talking about at the store, that it could just emit light from one location. But as a point of the light texture behind Greta, I was hearing what you were saying when you were going, this looks sloppy. I was looking at it going, it actually looks kind of cool. And I don't know that I would do this unless I was stylizing something.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with you. The green that this emits is a serious problem. And if our post-production tools weren't so fantastic and user-friendly, then it would be a much harder sell for me. And so
That's true.
for-
And as the post-production tools get more advanced, like every day they're
Yeah.
being evolved. So that, like what Premiere just has the auto rotoscoping now. So I think
Yeah.
some of these things are going to not be relevant pretty soon. But yeah.
Yeah, and I'm editing in Final Cut, which just got a new version 12.0, and that has a whole bunch of new stuff in it. And I have different balancing tools that I use, and I've had shots come in fully yellow because I didn't, white balance correctly, and then in 1 second it snaps it and balances it, and so I'm super stoked because that's great. But when I think of what I would do with this on a set, I love that I could use this in multiple use cases across how it would go. Robin, what did you think?
So, from my perspective, kind of similar to Chris, if I had bought that other strip light that I was like, oh, I'm going to get this. These are my 3. And then I'm like, actually, no, I need to get that. This wouldn't have looked as good because this is a real soft light. And the fact that I could stretch it over a long distance, it fixed that problem there. You saw that one point where I was using the other light that we'll come to in a minute as a backlight, and it just flattened that. There was no nice fall off. It's just like blah.
Yeah.
Whereas this has nice fall off, and you can shape it. So it's like, oh, it's a little bit dark. Oh, I'll just, I
And you
wrapped
do
it
get
down.
16 feet of light, which is a nice.
Yeah.
Also, I was able to, just put it in the cabinet doors to hold it up. Like, I didn't have any tape. I didn't have any zip ties. I didn't have any stands. I didn't have any extension cables. So I was like, I tried to do this as restrictive as possible. And that made this shoot a lot better than the other light.
And we have used rope lights before. We did a music video where we used to put rope lights on our mic stands for our band, and then we also used some rope lights that were colored red and blue that we used for a boxing rink scene in a music video.
Okay.
So that was a nice use of them. And those were I would say this also was not as heavy as those ones we used previously. So this one, because I think if we would have used those older rope lights, you wouldn't have been able to hold it in the door like you did. So
Yeah.
it's not super heavy, but maybe bundled in a ball. Was it heavy? I mean, it still held up on that tripod.
Yeah, no, super light.
Okay.
And super malleable, and it's great.
What's your ranking?
So what's your ranking?
I would say. So I don't know if I put a rank on that one. I would say like an 8 out of 10 on that one. It's very specific, but 6 out of 10.
Okay, that's great. I'm going to take us into the last one. The last light is the
7 out of 10
7 out of 10. You just went up.
on that one.
I
7
say
out of 10.
3 out of 10.
3 out of 10. I would say this is probably a 7 out of 10 for me as well. Like I really liked it. I would totally buy this, but if my budget was a little bigger, I might look for more higher quality.
Yeah.
light.
And one with maybe. Well, we don't know.
You know what? If the remote was there, my ranking might be higher.
Yeah,
At least a 3.5.
It could be a 5.
Whoa!
Yeah, it could be a 5. If there
That's
was
true. Without the remote, we couldn't mess with the.
We couldn't mess
What
with.
does the remote do? The remote.
Because we were supposed to be able to dim it, and we couldn't dim it. It only did weird settings.
Yeah.
So if we would have been able to dim it and control it a little bit better, we might have got a little more. Might have been a little more versatile. I like the versatility.
Yeah.
yeah.
The last light, I will just say it for voiceover purposes, is the Husky infrared. Whoa, it's infrared. Infrared touchless work light, 2,500 lumens.
I love this light, but not necessarily in this shoot. So what I love about this light is situations where I'm in an environment where I have very little control over an already lit place, and I want to put an extra light to just brighten up a certain section. And I love that I could use the hooks to hang it on something or the magnets to put it on something. As far as how it worked in here, I didn't notice a discernible difference. And this might be my learning about lighting to where maybe it made a huge difference. I'd be curious for what both of you saw. But for me, I would want to buy these, but not to rush out for this use case. This light and the ropey light seemed to make a difference immediately, and when that light went on. So it could also be that we used it after the other lights, and so it was just filling in something as opposed to starting something. But it's not that I didn't like the light. I kind of want to go buy one that I can bring with me when I know I'm in that kind of an environment. So for me, it's a 5 out of 10, which is not good. It's not bad. It just is.
I thought you could also dial the temperature, which you couldn't, so that lowers the ranking for me. But I do really like it. I think also, like what you're saying, I think like in a car scene, it would be really cool.
Right.
Like certain shots where you need to have something more compact, but you still need a lot of brightness. I think it would be really cool. I like you said, the magnets, the hooks. I like it. I think we didn't necessarily use it a lot in this. I think we should show you what it looks like off and on to like see what the difference it makes in this actual scene. I might have used it differently to how Robin used it. I would have tried to like put it on the side more, like
simulate the light.
Yeah, simulate the light, or like we talked about putting it through the window. I think that would be a cooler, not a cooler, but just like a different use case for it. But I think also 5 out of 10. I feel like I think I will like it better in other scenarios.
Okay.
So if I can just explain why I used it in the way I used it. So right now we're having this. It's cutting the back of this, so it's adding shape and adding clarity to the couch.
Okay.
And I'm not a big fan of backlights because I feel they're not very natural. And yes, Greta, I think that the window would create a more natural backlight. So if the window, which you can't see, is out of shot, but there's a window which we could have opened up. We were going from kind of late afternoon to dark. So the reason why I didn't open the window and use light there is because it wouldn't be consistent, and so I kept that shut. But if it had been dark already,
Or it's almost dark now,
Yeah.
so we could probably use it now.
it would have been cool that maybe that light in the back, open the slats of the window, shine the light through, and get some shape on the back.
Especially if you had some haze.
Haze completely changes everything, and we should do a video about haze because haze is amazing. Even in a documentary film setting, it can really
Texture.
add texture, and it
Mood.
does great things to the lights.
You know what people haven't done is like a boxing scene with a bunch of smoke and haze. Is that something people have done before?
I don't think I can't recall ever actually.
Hold on.
Reference our rope light music video.
What about a music video where a metalcore band is playing inside of a dingy factory? Is that a thing that's been done before?
Well,
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
That sounds really unique.
It's,
Hire us.
Anyway, so this light back here, it's actually it's emulating a very classic standard lighting. Standard light that is used in these situations, which is a very hard, bright, white light.
Which we
And
actually just got rid of your OG lighting kit from when we first met.
Yeah.
It had a tube, a very
A halogen.
hot halogen, and that would always be your kind of highlight go-to.
That's
And
exactly what it was.
That's what that reminded me of.
And so for $25, 26,
24, I think it was 24.
when I bought that halogen backlight in
Can I guess?
2003
Yes.
or 4,
$100?
I think it was probably like $350.
Lights used to be so expensive. You guys don't know how lucky you are. This is coming from elder millennial. Lights are so cheap. Even good, super good quality lights are so cheap now.
When we were doing shows back in 2002, we were walking up the snow without shoes on.
No, you weren't. You were in California.
Yeah.
But yes, I think this is a big and important thing too, is that it's not to minimize what you're saying, because I think you're actually hitting on a really important point. And that point is that people can, with very limited resources, make amazing looking things. You saw the shots on the iPhone. That's not a Blackmagic 6K camera with a beautiful lens. That's just an iPhone that you've got in your pocket and some lights from Home Depot. If you're shooting a vlog, or you want to do a single camera review of something, a movie review, a video game review, a gear product review, whatever, you have so many amazing resources that don't cost you $350 or a couple thousand for a camera, and then the lens. You can grab your cell phone and some lights from Home Depot for around $100, and have something that looks great.
Also, if you're a student filmmaker or
Yes.
or you're starting your production company, when we first started our production company, I think you had those, maybe the fancy lights already, but a lot of shoots we did in our early days literally were like beg, borrow, and steal things. So it was like we got away with a lot of stuff with a
Well-
lot of, amateur materials.
I can tell you right now, and I don't know if I have a good quality copy of it. The first thing that I made a short film with my brother in 1999, and we went out.
Most of those people were not alive.
Yeah, exactly. We went out to B&Q, which is the English equivalent of Home Depot, and we bought some cheap halogen work lights. They still sell them. They're the square lights that the metal, you put them on a.
The ones I said I hated.
Yeah, and they're horrible. They're harsh, but
They're hot.
that's what we used.
But it worked.
It worked.
Or you can make it work.
The first music video I shot in Los Angeles, I got a fold out green screen, and I used those same halogen lights, and I lit it in that way, and I was filming Dave Stewart from the Eurythmics for the music video for Around the World in 80 Days, the Jackie Chan movie. I shot it in my apartment for
With lights from the equivalent of Home Depot.
No, then that was in LA. That's when I moved to LA,
Yeah.
and I went to Home Depot and I bought lights and I shot a movie, and I think it's on the DVD
Wow.
As a special feature.
as a special feature.
And that one you did a lot of work for. That has a lot of animation.
Yeah, I tell you what,
No.
lighting a green screen with those lights, not a good idea.
Not
But I did
recommended as far as like
yeah.
as far as like post work on your end
Yeah.
for that. But
There's another music video which I showed you earlier, Chris. We can reference it here. A band we did called XOK. I used a 300 watt, one of those curly like light
Yeah,
bulbs.
yeah.
You see them, you get them like 60, 40 watt versions, but it's basically a big version of that. And I literally hung it up.
we hung it up on the at IKEA. You can buy the black like things where because at IKEA you can buy different lights and switch the shades. So just those black simple, those are the best. We use those on tons of shoes. We have like 10 of those, and you can hang them up anywhere. You can put them in a light, and we just put that in that IKEA.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I mean, I think that's where my mind goes, is that we have tons of ways that you can think of to get creative with production, save money with production. Also, we'll show you where to spend money with production, which is why you should like this video, subscribe, and leave a comment. And make sure you stay tuned, because we have a lot of different things to come. We're going to be talking about how to run your production. We're going to be from the paperwork side of things. Should you be an S Corp? Should you be a sole proprietor? Also, further gear things. We're going to light other spaces. We'd love to show you how we do that. I need help lighting my space. And then also some of your guys' music video breakdowns and reviews. Let's look at how you've done that and what you use to achieve those things. Because I've seen some of your stuff, and I just look at you two as wizards with how you're creating all of these layers and these edits. So there's a lot here. And if you want to know how to do cool stuff, you're in the right place.
And also just working for yourself, no matter what kind of creative you are, working for yourself and being able to figure, you might be the musician, or you might be, some other kind of person that works for themselves and wants to create videos or just wants to learn more. And we've been through a lot of lives, as all of us, a lot of different jobs and a lot of things. So I think we're in a cool space now to tell you about what we've done throughout our lives, of how to work for yourself, build the life you want, and how to, how creativity comes into play with all that.
And I'd also add that, I never went to school for any of this stuff. Like a lot of the lighting terms that a cinematographer would use on set or the technical things, I don't know. But it doesn't matter. Like, what matters is being able to see on screen, like, whether it works, whether it doesn't work, and being able to identify why it's not working. And that just comes through practice. And, like, learning as much as you can, but don't worry if you're not going to school for it. Don't worry if you don't know all the terms. It doesn't matter. you know,
You can go to school for it and know all the terms and not know what to do in a situation. So
we've won awards for our cinematography, and
We all three have. Mm-hmm. All three of us. Yep, including myself. Keep going.
you probably will have by the time this airs.
but but the people that see it, they don't know what you know. They just know whether it looks good or not. So don't let anything hold you back.
Nah.
Love it.
Especially money.
Especially money. But don't steal. All right, bye.
I like that.